Hey, hello everyone. Good morning. Are you all able to hear me? Let me do a quick poll. In the interim, let me also share the slides with you all. Let me share my screen and let me ask question on whether you're able to see my screen or not. Yep, you should be able to see my screen now. And here we go. Artificial intelligence and deep learning. Hello everyone and welcome to day 2 of Faculty Development Program, which is launched in collaboration with AP State Skill Development Corporation and 360DigiTMG. Even before we proceed further, I wish to ask this question as a poll question on, are you able to hear me? Yes or a no? Please, can you answer to this? Wonderful. 80-90% of y'all are able to hear me. Wonderful. And remaining people, for y'all, I'll quickly write it here that 90% of participants have no issues. Okay. Another 10%, please check your audio settings and refresh your screen. Okay. Enoch, are you there?
I'm there in the session, Bernie.
Yep. Why don't you take over and show the questions which were posted? Where were they posted? And how are they going to be posted? And how are you going to respond? How people have to respond? And also you can do that surprise, award giveaway
Sure.
session quickly. And then I will take over. Over to you.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Bernie.
Thank you.
So let me quickly share my screen. Amazing. So before I actually get started, let me ask you guys a quick question. How many of you have answered or participated in the quiz yesterday? So let me take a quick poll. So can you all please respond to the poll? Let me see. Can you guys please respond to the poll? How many of you answered quiz questions yesterday? Can you guys confirm if you can hear me?
Enoch, where we are able to hear you and there are poll responses which are coming in.
All
And
right.
poll responses say that you haven't clicked on poll yet. You'll have to refresh. I think it's giving me 55%.
Okay. No worries.
Yep.
Perfect. All right. So let me quickly, yeah. So what we are going to do is every day on one of our social media platforms, be it Facebook, be it LinkedIn, be it sometimes it could be even be in the WhatsApp. That is going to be a surprise. So every day we are going to post 5 questions on the topic that was covered that day. So based on yesterday's topic, day 1, we have posted these 5 questions, and about, I believe, 160 people or something responded, and we got a lot of different answers. And so what we are going to do is, today we are going to basically pick a random winner, and then we are going to surprise them with a gift. And we are not going to tell you what that surprise is, and we just don't know who's going to win. So let's do this. And so what we have done is, we have created a list of all the people who have answered in the, who has responded to the quiz. And we have about 156 people who participated. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to pick one winner, one random winner out of this. And I'm not going to be the one who is going to do the picking. I'm going to trust Google to do this. So I'm going to go to google.com. And while I'm here, I'm just going to type in random number generator. So what this tool is going to do is, it is going to randomly pick one number. So we have serial number 1 till serial number 156. So just to make sure that this works, I'm going to randomly put number 1 to 10,000, and I'm going to click generate. So we got some random number. We got another.
Even before that, all the participants are asking only one question. Where
Sure.
is this quiz posted? Can you please show us that?
All
We are
right.
clueless,
Okay.
right? We are not there on the WhatsApp groups. So these kind of questions. So
Okay.
maybe you might want to first answer that,
All
then
right.
YouTube link, then we can proceed further with this.
Awesome. I'll do that.
Yeah.
So guys, what we are going to do is, every day we are going to post one quiz on our, either our Facebook page. So I'm going to give you a link to our Facebook page. So the quiz would be either here on the Facebook, or it is going to be on our LinkedIn. So I'm just going to share the LinkedIn link. So just give me a second. I'm going to open LinkedIn. So it's either going to be on our Facebook or on our LinkedIn. And the notification, we are generally sending it, we are posting it on the WhatsApp groups. And if any of you are not there, not there in any WhatsApp group, what I would recommend is simply drop a text message to the
Enoch,
number that.
3 more minutes, you'll have to wind it up
Sure.
quickly.
So,
I'll have to get started. 3 more minutes.
sure. So what I'm going to do is, we are going to post a link, post a number. So you just need to send a WhatsApp text to that number, and we'll add you to the group. So this was the quiz that was posted yesterday. It's in here, and we have about 156 entries. So I'm going to use this Google's random number generator tool to pick a winner. So I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 156. Just making sure. Yeah. And now all I need to do is click this generate, and whatever is the number that shows here, that person is the winner for yesterday's quiz competition. So let's do this. 3, 2, 1, and go. So it's number 26. So number 26 is, let's see who the person is. He's Bala Raja Ram. So Bala Raja Ram, if you are in the session, congratulations. What we are going to do is, we have your details. We are going to contact you, and then we are going to give you that surprise gift that we promised. And guys, even today we are going to post 5 questions. Today the questions would be on LinkedIn. So let me quickly share that LinkedIn link again. So this is the LinkedIn URL. So we will be posting the questions there, so keep an eye out. And at the same time, what we are going to do is we are also going to send you a message on WhatsApp about the competition. So that's it. Thank you so much, and over to you, Barney.
Thank you so much, Enoch. So there are a few questions which are coming up. Let me
Okay.
quickly answer those questions. So, yep, we will get started with the session quickly. But before that, yep, there are a few questions which we need to answer. The first thing is, what if we don't have Facebook account? What if we don't have Facebook account? How do I answer the quiz? So we will be posting daily quizzes and you'll be getting surprise gifts from Amazon on a daily basis. We'll be posting that on Facebook, we'll be posting on LinkedIn, and we'll be posting that on WhatsApp. Okay. But a few of you are saying, we don't have Facebook, we don't have LinkedIn, we don't have WhatsApp. What do we do? Right? To answer that, I'm going to walk you guys through a use case. Okay. Let's get into that use case here. And that use case is a project that we have done for a client. So rather, I will go here. And you people tell me, on is it fair on our part to say that um, we will not have an account? Okay, Facebook or LinkedIn. I'll just explain this out of the interest that we all should be very close. Okay, to technology. Number one, there was an education bank in US. Okay, so let me choose the right color. Education loan related bank, which was specialized only in educational loan. And this particular bank approached us saying that we want you to build a prediction model. What kind of prediction model? This prediction model should predict on whether a person will default on the loan or not. Default or not default, right? Now here, when we want to build a model, we first looked at who are the people who are applying for the loan. And we understood that people who are applying for the loan are students. And approximately 90% of the students were applying for the loan for the very first time in their life. First time in their life, they're applying for the loan. If they're applying for the first time, will you have any credit information? The past information? Would you have any CIBIL score or credit score? No, you will not have any CIBIL score. You will not have any credit score because these students have never taken the loan in the past. They have applied for the loan for the very first time in their life. Then how do I even predict on whether a person is going to repay the loan or not repay the loan? For that, what we have done is, and what the industry does is, they go to social media and
Barney,
extract the data. Yeah.
Barney, I think people are saying that they can't see the screen.
Oops. Okay. Now,
Uh, Let me just put a poll question.
yeah, please put a poll question. Are you guys not able to see still? I'll have to unshare and share it again. Now, are you guys able to see? Should be able to see now.
Yeah, now I think they are able to see. Yes,
Yeah,
they're able to
wonderful.
see.
Wonderful. So let me repeat this, repeat this so that I motivate the people who do not have social media accounts to have social media accounts, because tomorrow we will be the people who will be training our students, who will be working on social media analytics. So, a couple of quick things here. Number one, we have worked with a bank which is specialized in educational loan. Educational loan. This is an amazing project that we have done. Amazing project. And people who apply for educational loan are students. And out of these students, 90% of them apply for the loan for the first time. If you are applying for the loan for the first time, you will not have any CIBIL score or credit score. Credit score higher means you're a good person, you will repay the loan. CIBIL score, right? My CIBIL score is 800. So immediately banks will rush in to give you a loan for a lower interest rate. But the challenge is students are applying for the first time. So I don't have any information. Hence, these kind of banks, they want you to build a prediction model using the historical data. Okay, they'll ask you to take data such as what is the age, what is the agenda, how much is the loan amount, which college are they applying for. Using all these inputs, you need to predict on whether a student will default on the loan or not. And then when we wanted to do prediction here on whether a student will default or not default, okay, whether a student is going to default or not default, when we wanted to do such a prediction, we also extracted additional variables. We try to extract additional variables such as how many number of friends the people who have applied for the loan have on their social media. Okay, number one, number of friends. And what kind of comments are you posting on Twitter, on Facebook, right? Using the comments, you extract the comments and do emotion mining. Emotion mining means, are you a kind of person who is always posting about negative things? Or are you posting about positive things? Number three, are you a kind of person who is always going on vacations? If you keep going on international vacations, then will you have the money to repay the loan? Maybe you're a spendthrift who wants to spend a lot and lead a king size life, but maybe you do not have the potential to repay the loan. These kind of things are extracted, and these kind of things are placed in your data set. Using this data, you predict on whether a person will default on the loan or not default. Now, if someone says, say you applied for a job, okay, and you applied for a job for this particular company, which is specialized in educational loan, or any bank, any financial services insurance, and trust me, 100% of the banks will do analytics. And you cannot simply say that I don't have social media account, because that statement is enough for your profile to be rejected. Why? Because you are expected to get the data from external sources also and use that data alongside your company data to be able to do better predictions. Now tell me, do you all feel that we should not do this? We should not be having Facebook account and LinkedIn account? No, we need to have it. Another example, we have done something called as celebrity analytics. What do you mean by celebrity analytics? Okay, let me ask this question to you all, or let me show you one very interesting thing. And that interesting thing is, how much do celebrities get paid for Instagram posts? For just as an example. Okay, and why I will tell you, because millions of dollars would be there. Look at that, right? Kylie Jenner is paid $1 million for every post. $1 million for every post. And do you know what kind of analytics people do? You will have to extract a lot of information such as centrality measures. Okay, the companies, FMCG companies, sports companies, different companies who do marketing using celebrities, they expect you to do this analysis. So what kind of analysis? Let me tell you. Say there are two celebrities. I'll take example of Shah Rukh Khan and Hrithik Roshan. You have two people, right? One person has 1 lakh followers, another person has 10 lakh followers. As a company who wants to do marketing using these people on social media, would you choose Mr. A or would you choose Mr. B? This is my first question. So let me ask this question as a poll question. So here, the poll question here is, whom would you select for marketing your product? Both of them are celebrities, okay? Mr. A or Mr. B. Both of them are into film industry. Yep. Can you answer that? Please, can you answer that? Would you select Mr. A or Mr. B? Whom would you choose to promote your products? Mr. B has 10 lakh followers and Mr. A has 1 lakh followers. Whom would you choose? Mr. B, because Mr. B has a lot of followers. This is called as degree centrality. Let me write it. This is called as degree centrality. Next, these 1 lakh followers are in turn, they are connected to 1 crore followers, and these 10 lakh followers are only connected to 100 people. Now, whom would you choose? Mr. A or Mr. B? So let me reset the poll and let me ask the same poll once again. Yep. Whom would you choose now? Mr. A or B? Mr. B has a lot of followers, but his followers in turn are connected to only 100. Mr. A has 100,000 followers who are in turn connected to 1 crore followers. Whom would you choose now? Obviously, majority of y'all are saying you want to go with Mr. A. Wonderful. This is called as closeness centrality. And now, say out of these 100 people, one person is Narendra Modi, another person is Donald Trump. And all these 1 crore followers here for Mr. A are normal citizens, middle income group citizens, are all middle income group. Now, whom would you prefer to market your product? If it's a, of course, you can just say that, you know what, if my product is really a, glamorous, high valued product, then I'll go with maybe person B, right? Absolutely. And this is called as eigenvector centrality. Now, tell me, in celebrity analytics, which is a very, very big industry, right? Multi-million dollar industry where data scientists are hired left, right, and center. Would you say that I don't have a Facebook account or I don't have a LinkedIn account? We cannot say that. Friends, I'm trying to convince you that You need not daily open your Facebook. You need not daily open your LinkedIn account. You need not be hyperactive. But we, as faculty who will be training our students, we should be well versed with all the options which are there in social media, because you will be teaching something called as social media analytics, political party analytics, emotion mining, right? If you go to Amazon, for example, you'll have product reviews, right? So on and so forth, wherein the product reviews are not just written on Amazon, they are written on Twitter also, Facebook also, and big companies do this. And while I was with Deloitte, we worked on a project called as risk sensing project. Risk sensing. And I'm sure you all are aware of this, that what has happened is a few years a few years back, Nestle Maggie fiasco happened. What happened here is a lot of people started saying that Nestle has excess lead content in Maggie, and that excess lead content in the Maggie is going to cause harm to you, and that's it. That's called as PR crisis, and that's it. Their entire market share collapsed. Look at this, Nestle's $500 million noodle debacle in India. Do you know what has happened? A few of the competitors and people, unscrupulous people, they have resorted to social media and they just posted message saying that Maggie, oh my god, don't have this because it has excess lead content, which will be harmful to you. If it is going to be harmful, then what happens? Do you know what? On social media, it is a graph data, like in Chiranjeevi's movie, right? I think that is Stalin, right? They say that you help three people, those three people will help another three people, like that. If three people crib negatively about your product on social media, it's like a tree, right? Graph. Those three people will again notify to another three people. I mean, they don't know what is the truth in this. It's just like monkey see, monkey do. They just start spreading it. So negativity spreads like a wildfire. And risk sensing is something with which all the major companies do, including Hindustan Unilever, including ITC, Indian Tobacco Corporation, because we work with HUL. I know that we have done a project for them on social media analytics, and I work with ITC Infotech. So that's also another company which does extensively. Now, to these companies, when we apply for a job, and if we say that I don't have social media account, do you think they are going to give you a job? On a serious note, right? You need not be hyperactive once again, but you need to have an account and you need to be looking at the various options in that, so that tomorrow we train our students confidently on social media analytics. Many things, friends. I mean, I hope I motivated you all enough saying that you need to have an account, right? So please have it. It's very simple. Let us be game changers. We are all speaking about technology, but we also have to adapt to technology. Are you convinced that you all need to have social media accounts? Please, as a rational individual, please can you respond to this? If you say no, then all the work that I've done, all these explanations that I've given will be invalid. So I request you all not to make me cry. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all so much for responding. 96% of y'all are saying, yes, let us be the game changers. Since our students will be working with all these companies, which requires us to extract data from social media and analyze the data, we need to have social media accounts. So that hopefully answers your question on where will the quiz be posted. Quiz will be posted on social media. Please have your account. Very important. It will help you and your students because we are responsible for shaping the careers of our students, right? So we all should take responsible positions as people who are in responsible positions. Okay, back to our discussion. Yesterday in AI and deep learning training, we just discussed or got introduced to a few Python libraries. And and friends, it will take hardly 5 minutes. So just create your Facebook and LinkedIn account. At least this should be the start for all of us. Together, we will be game changers. Okay. So we have TensorFlow, which is from Google, which is a low level programming language, meaning you need to have detailed knowledge of programming to be able to handle TensorFlow. We also have a high level programming library called as Keras. Even a business user can actually make use of Keras in solving problems, business problems. And we also have PyTorch, which is now fast picking up. These two are competing with each other now. And we also have OpenCV, which is there since decades. And it's catching attention now because a lot of projects which people are doing is based on images and videos and audios. We also have a lot of other Python libraries such as NumPy, SciPy, Pandas, scikit-learn, sklearn, stats models, matplotlib, Seaborn, so on and so forth. Okay, we will get to this and slowly and steadily we will learn about Python programming as well. But before we get to Python programming, here is the second module that we need to learn. Okay, this is machine learning primer. And this is so important that if you don't understand this high level picture, then you will not be able to handle any project. This is what is lacking in the industry, lacking in the academia, right? Industry on one side expects people who are trained and who can handle the projects, who can work on projects. On another side, we have academia, wherein we are more focused on concepts, right? Teaching the topics, explaining the topics. To bridge the gap, we have this faculty development program, which will actually give you a lot of arms and ammunitions to proceed further. The first question that we need to answer is, what is the difference between traditional programming versus machine learning? In traditional programming, you have data which is available with you, and you write a program on your computer, and this program will help you get an output. Hey, if this is computer programming or traditional programming, then what is machine learning? Right? You might have such a question. So the answer is as follows. When it comes to machine learning, what you do is you first get the data, like the loan default data. You'll have the output variable on whether people have repaid the loan or did they default. And you'll have various inputs such as age, gender, income, educational qualification, so on and so forth. You take this data. When I say data, I'm speaking about these inputs here. These X's are also called as inputs. And you also have this Y, which is your output. So take your output and take your inputs, and when you supply these to computer, your computer will learn the patterns between y and x. So this is going to be the most important equation that we are going to handle. Y is equal to f of x, y is your output, and x stands for input. Okay. If you want to predict on what will be the weight gain, how much weight am I going to gain? Weight gain depends on an input called as calories consumed. In this case, we have a single input to predict your weight gain. But scenarios also could be something like this, wherein you want to predict on what will be our salary after this FDP training. What will be the salary? I'm sensing it's maybe it is relevant, maybe it is not relevant, but still. Okay. Salaries depend on, of course, your educational qualification. Okay. And it also depends on how many such international certificates do you have? Maybe all these FDPs that you are attending is going to add a feather in your cap. You'll keep getting certificates. More the certificates, probably people will have more confidence in you. Okay. But just for the, of course, they'll also look at your experience, so on and so forth. So there are multiple inputs here. You have educational qualification, international certificates, your experience. All these are the inputs which will help you get to a specific salary, which is your output. The point that I'm driving is either you can have a single input to predict your output, or you can have multiple inputs to predict your output. Okay. And this is one part of the story. Another thing is, can your prediction ever be 100% accurate? Whatever you're trying to predict your output, can that be 100% accurate ever? What do you think? Let me ask a question on the poll here. Let me end this. Let me reset and ask a question. Will predictions ever be 100% accurate? Yes or a no? What do you think? Let's see. Never. Absolutely. If your predictions are 100% accurate, you will be called as God. A simple example. Who will win the next elections in AP? Predict with 100% accuracy and you'll be called as God. Can you ever predict that? Or predict on what will be the stock market tomorrow? Predict, friends, with 100% accuracy. Okay. And I will invest money. We both will share 50% each. Okay. I will sell all my property and I'll invest. Predict with 100% accuracy on what will be the stock value tomorrow. Can you do that? No. Right? So predictions will never ever be 100% accurate. If you can predict, you'll be called as God. Okay. So the point here is this is the most important equation that you should be aware of. And you have the output variable and the input variables. Our idea is to learn the patterns. If the age is 22 years, gender, income is 30,000 per month, and educational qualification is PhD, then salary will be so much. So for each and every such example or row that you have, your data will look at all these inputs. And if the inputs are in this way, output should be so much. If the inputs are so much, output should be so much. In that way, you learn the patterns. and you come up with a program such as this, some equation, some mathematical equation, right, which will establish the patterns between y and x. You learn the patterns between y and x. That's a program which is learned. This is the difference between traditional programming and machine learning. Within machine learning, you give output as an input and you get the program out. In traditional programming, you take the data, write a program, and then you get the output. Next, there are a lot of machine learning types which exist. Okay, since we are getting into you know the artificial intelligence and deep learning concepts, we'll quickly look into this and then we'll proceed further. Number one, supervised learning. If you have a specific data type or data, not data type, data, in which you have an output variable and input variables. So here, if you have output and input variables, you say that output variable y is known to us. If the output variable is known to us, then the underlying machine learning type is called as supervised learning. Anything to do with prediction. Predict on whether a patient has COVID-19 or not, given that he or she was visited the hospital so many times, so on and so forth. Any prediction for that case, you will have the output variable and input variables. So if your output is known, it is supervised learning. And then you also have unsupervised learning. We'll get to these things later. Unsupervised learning. In unsupervised learning, you'll have data inputs, but then you will not have any output variable. So output is unknown. When I'm saying output is unknown, I'm not saying your objective, final objective or final output is unknown. I'm not saying that. Within your data, you'll not have an output. For example, if you have HSBC bank customers, or say State Bank of India or Andhra Bank. Okay, if you have, say 1 crore or 10 crore customers, Andhra Bank customers, and you want to do a marketing. What is that marketing? The marketing is you'll have 10% discount. You'll get 10% discount if you buy, okay, if you buy iPhone 11 using Andhra Bank credit card. Okay, if you use our credit card and purchase, you'll get special 10% discount on iPhone 11. My question is, would you send this email to all these 1 crore customers, yes or no? If you want to do an email marketing, for instance, let me ask this question here. Will you ask or will you send emails for marketing this offer to all customers, to all 10 crore customers? Yes or a no? Let me see who is thinking analytically here. Yep. Please, can you answer? Will you send emails for marketing this offer to all the 100 crore customers? There is the email campaign will say this, that there is 10% discount if you buy iPhone 11 using Andhra Bank credit card. Let's see. There is a mixed response. 35% of y'all are saying yes. Remaining 65% of y'all are saying no, we would not do that. Now let me tell you this, that out of all these 10 crore customers, say we have Mr. Jagan Mohan Reddy. Do you think Jagan Mohan Reddy, our chief minister, would be interested in 10% discount for iPhone if Jagan Mohan Reddy has a bank account here? Obviously no, right? Okay. You might have a lot of politicians, a lot of affluent society people who might be having bank accounts with Andhra Bank. They might not be interested in 10% discount. So number one, you are sending them emails which are not worthy for them. If you continue sending such all offers, what would anyone do? They will unsubscribe to your email. So you lost your customer. You cannot market any future products. Even worse would be they will select your email and click on spam. That's it. Your entire domain will, for the future customers, also will go into spam. Hence, what people do is they do something called as clustering or segmentation. They perform clustering or segmentation. Okay, and what kind of work do? They apply certain algorithms, unsupervised learning algorithms, and they create different groups of people. Different groups of people. One might be all the student community. One might be the middle income group. One might be the bridge customers. Bridge customers means those people who are almost there to purchase latest gadgets. They're almost there to purchase the luxury products, but they just need some additional incentive, slight discount for these bridge customers to push. They say, right, cat on a wall. A cat sitting on a wall might jump on this side or this side. These kind of customers are called as bridge customers. So what interests them to move to another side? That's a strategy, marketing strategy. But from data science and AI perspective, you do segmentation. Okay, you come up with students community, the political class, affluent society, etc. And then for you target each and every segment. So this email you'll not send to everyone. You will send only to that segment for whom this offer, this discount makes sense. Okay, very important. So we have supervised learning, and then we have unsupervised learning, and we also have something called as reinforcement learning. What do you mean by reinforcement learning? This is a new field of study, amazing field of study. Okay, we will just, I will play a video for you to understand about this reinforcement learning. There is something called as Atari breakout. Okay, just yep, watch this. This was developed by Google's DeepMind. Google acquired a company called as DeepMind, which is I think UK-based firm, and we all have played this when we were kids. So the most important thing is here. The agent is given sensory input and it is ordered to maximize the score on the screen. That's it. You don't tell on how to play, what to play. You give it and it will do wonders. So first it was trained for only 10 minutes. After 10 minutes of training, this specific algorithm learned a bit on how to maximize the score here. Okay, and then what happened was it was once again trained for 120 minutes. When it was trained for only 120 minutes, it started playing like an expert. You didn't teach it on how to play. You only told that, hey, there are points. I want you to maximize the points. That's it. And this will do the job for you. And if you train it for more time, it will learn interesting strategies that if I dig a tunnel on one side, then that's the most effective technique to beat the game. Look at that here. You are trying, it's trying to break or dig a tunnel here. Its focus on is on digging a tunnel. That's it. If you dig a tunnel, you know that you're gonna win the game. This is called as reinforcement learning. Okay, and there is another branch which is called as semi-supervised learning. What do you mean by semi-supervised learning? Semi-supervised learning means you combine both the capabilities of supervised learning and the capabilities of unsupervised learning. You combine the capabilities of supervised and unsupervised learning. So how do you do that? So what we do here is, in combining these two, I'll give you an example. Say you have 10,000 uh, radiology images. Okay, radiology means if you are having traces of cancer, your doctor will ask you to go and visit a radiologist. Radiologist is a typical MBBS doctor who has done specialization in radiology, cancer, oncology, right? So this radiology doctor, hiring these people is very costly. And when you build your machine learning algorithm and say you want to predict or build a model for cancer prediction, say you want to do this, you want to build a cancer prediction model. Here what happens is you'll have images. What images? Cancer images or radiology images rather, not cancer images, radiology images. Image 1, image 2, image 3. In that way, you have say 10,000 images of 10,000 customers. And you also need to have label. Label is called as Y and images are your inputs. Now say you have the images, but you don't have the labels. You don't have the names. You don't know whether by looking at this, whether this is cancerous or non-cancerous. You don't know. So what would you do? You'll hire a radiologist. Radiologist will charge you for every 1 hour. Okay, we have done this project by the way. We also got funds from BIRADS. It's biotechnology, uh, you know, stuff basically. Anyways, and what happens here is we hired them, and then the doctor used to look at this image and tell us that okay, this is cancer. So we would enter in a data set that okay, this is cancer. For second image, doctor might say this doesn't seem to have cancer. This is cancer in that way. And approximately they spend, normally on patients they spend good 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Okay, 30 minutes to 45 minutes if they are looking at image of a patient, if they do consulting for a patient. But since this is just giving names, she was able to do approximately 10, okay, 10 images per hour. And per hour, we were charged some approximately 8,000 rupees. If I can label 3 in an hour, and if it is going to cost me 8,000, just imagine how much will it cost me for this, for all these, right? If you divide it by 3, what will happen? 9, 9, 9, right? Triple nine into what triple nine? Even more, sorry, 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay, my bad, sorry. Okay, 3, 3, 3, 3. Multiply it with 8,000. It's a huge money, right? So we thought we don't have so much of money. So what should I do then? If I don't have so much of money, what do we do? What we can do is we can apply something called as semi-supervised learning. What we do as part of semi-supervised learning is we ask the radiologist to give us labels for maybe 1,000 images. And then using these 1,000 images, you build a model. The moment you have label for these 1,000 images, okay, the moment you have this output variable for the inputs, which are images that you have, this will be called as supervised learning. Supervised learning means output variable is known. Okay, so you take all these 1,000 images, build the model. Once you build the model on these 1,000 images, you then test on remaining 9,000 images. Okay, you then test it on remaining 9,000 images. And then the moment you supply an image as input to your model, let me explain it in a better manner maybe. So you have output and input for these 1,000 images, then you build a model. Once you build a model using these 1,000 images, you predict using these 1,000 images, using this model that you built on the remaining 9,000 data points, which is nothing but test data. Once you predict on these 9,000 images, you get the output, which is label. So now what happens is you can automatically give a label to all these remaining 9,000 also without the help of radiologists. This is called as semi-supervised learning, which combines supervised learning, which has the label, and unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning means these 9,000 entries which don't have an output is unsupervised. So output unknown is unsupervised learning. When you combine these two capabilities, it is called as unsupervised learning. Okay. We also have something called as active learning, transfer learning, structured prediction, etc. Active learning is very similar to semi-supervised learning. Transfer learning means, do you know what? We will do this practically, okay? Very important thing that you need to understand. If I take cats and dogs data set, okay, and if I build a model, which will then immediately, the moment there is a new image, it will predict, okay, it will predict on whether the image is cat image or a dog image. Okay, you need to predict on whether an image is cat image or a dog image, right? Now, can I use this data set which I've built on cancer images, radiology images or X-ray images or DICOM images, whatever you call it? Can I use it on cancer images to predict on whether a patient has cancer or no cancer? The answer is yes, you can use it. And that is called as transfer learning. We will learn this as part of our training. You need to do certain changes, but this is a big emerging field. Then you have something called a structured prediction. Structured prediction means, I'm sure when you you all are using Gmail accounts. When you open your Gmail and when you start typing an email, your Gmail is going to predict the next word. If you just say hi, it will automatically give your name here. Then you say, if you say thank you, then it says it will give so much, awaiting a positive feedback. It is recommending, right? Those kind of things which you can select. Next word prediction problems. These kind of things where you have a structure, right? Grammar, English grammar structure, And if you want to predict such things, it is called as structured prediction. It's called as structured prediction. Okay. One final thing, and then there'll be series of quizzes. Just let's see how we are going to answer. So questions will come here, but even before that, let's focus on this. If you have a categorical class, what do you mean by categorical class? Will a person default on the loan or not? Okay. Will the customer churn or not? Customer churn means if you're using Airtel and if you switch your telecom services to Geo, this is called as customer churn. Right? These are all called as categorical problems. Then you have numerical problems. What do you mean by numerical problems? If you want to predict on how much should be the loan amount to be disbursed, it's a number. How much should be the interest rate? It's a number. What should be the mileage of a vehicle? It's a number. When you have numbers, it's called as regression problem or hmm, what happened? Sorry. It is called as regression problem or prediction problem. And then you also have recommendation problem, wherein from a large pool of options, you pull only a few products. Like Amazon. What happens on Amazon? When you search for a specific product, it shows you a few other products, saying that people who have purchased this have also purchased these. Recommendation problem, right? And you also have retrieval problem, like Google search. When you do a Google search, if you say AI training on Google search, it will show you a few pop-up, a few websites, right? That's called as retrieval. It's Google is going and retrieving the relevant websites from a universe of different web pages. Having said this, here you all need to tell me on what this is. Does this pathology whole slide image show cancer? Okay, let me put that poll question here. And I will just say 1, 2, right? Rather than typing because it's there anyways. So for the first thing is answer classification or regression or recommendation or retrieval. Okay, please can you answer this? For this question, what is the answer? Does this pathology whole slide image show cancer? Yes or no, or not yes or no, it's you need to choose among those four. Oh, I didn't publish, sorry, my bad. Yep. Now can you answer? Sorry, I thought I published. Let me see how many of y'all are getting it right. Wonderful, wonderful friends. It's classification problem. Amazing. Okay, for this question, what will the stock value be tomorrow? To answer that, remove this one, what will be the answer? Let me reset the poll and let me start the poll once again. That's okay. Yep, please can you answer for this one? What will be the stock value on FTSE tomorrow? Is this stock value? What would that be? Regression problem, friends. Stock value. When you look at stock value, it will be in numbers, right? When you look at, for example, National Stock Exchange, India. Okay. What is the current stock value? You just click on that and it will give you some number. What? It's 10,512 for Nifty 50. Okay. So this is the number. It's continuous. Whenever you have numbers, it is called as prediction problem. Wonderful. Okay. The next question is, how much interest rate should I lend money to customer X for? Interest rate. What should be the interest rate for this? Let me reset this once again and let me start this poll. Yep. Please, can you answer for this? How much interest rate should I lend money to customer X for? What kind of problem is this? Wonderful. Majority of y'all are getting it right. Right. Interest rate is a number. Interest rate is a number. You will get interest rate for 8.75%, 11.45% in that way, right? So that's the interest rate. And here is another question. Is employee X about to a treat? So employee attrition means, will an employee resign or not? Okay, that is what it means. Yep. Please answer this. Is employee X about to attreat? Attreat means resign. Yeah. What kind of problem is this? Classification problem. Exactly. Classification. Okay. Next question is, until you get it right, we will complete these remaining things and you'll become very perfect. Okay. Because this is something that you need to understand. Without this, you cannot proceed further. Okay. What activity is user doing in the video? Is the user stealing or shopping? If this is the problem that you're trying to solve, then my question to you is, what type would that be? Is a person shopping or is a person stealing in the video? What is a person doing? What kind of problem is this? Wonderful. It's classification. Wonderful, friends. Wonderful. Next. What objects are present in the image? If you have this kind of a question, what kind of a problem is this? Let me again reset it and ask this question to you all. Yep. Please, can you respond? What objects are present in the image? Let's see who will get it right. Wonderful. It's again a classification problem. Exactly. Okay. If I say, how many MacBook Pro will I sell in New York in next year? By the way, InnoDataTix is globally headquartered in USA. So how many MacBook Pro will I sell in New York in next year? For that, yeah, what would be the answer? Is it a number? How many laptops will you sell? How many mobiles will you sell? Will you sell or not is not the question. How many will you sell? Count, number. Exactly. When you have number, it is regression. Once again, a lot of you all got it right. From social media, this is something that you always do, friends. You need to have a LinkedIn account. You need to have a Facebook account. We cannot say, no, we will not have. It hardly takes any time. We have to create, okay? Because we do all these analytics on unstructured textual data. So is a specific tweet on Twitter about a person or a product positive or negative? If I want to know about that, then what kind of a problem would that be? Let's ask this. Sorry, I'll cancel this. I'll reset the same thing. Yep. Can you answer? is this a positive or negative tweet? What problem is that? Classification problem. True, false, yes, no, this or that. Okay. Now it'll be interesting. Let's see who will get it right. Okay, let me first complete this. How high the value of my land go in a decade? As part of Amravati, when that was announced, price of the land increased. Now it again came down, right? So if I am speaking about the price of land, would that be continuous, or let me rather ask this. Yep. Please, can you answer? How high the value of my land will go in a decade? What kind of problem is this? Wonderful, wonderful. It is regression problem. Okay. And now things will become tricky. Which song are you humming the tune of? Do you know what? There are certain websites on which if you forget the lyrics or the movie title, don't worry. You just need to go and hum the tune of the song. The moment you hum the tune of the song, it will automatically re- okay, it will automatically show you that particular song. I was about to give away the answer, sorry. Let's see who will get it right. I forgot the song, so I will hum the song. If I hum the song, it should automatically give me that song. What problem is this? Retrieval problem. From bunch of songs, you are retrieving the most important song or the relevant song, and you're displaying that. Who will be the best match for you in marriage websites or dating websites? It will tell you on who is going to be the best match for you. Now they have included all that. So if you have these kind of problems, what problem is that called as? Out of all the bunch of people, who is the best match for you? What kind of a problem is that? Recommendation, exactly. It will recommend you on who are those people with whom you will be unhappy throughout your life. Yeah, right. That's on a jovial note. Okay. So now I think it's roughly an hour. So I hope you enjoyed the session. We will take a quick break for 10 minutes. It's 11, roughly 11:45. Let us all connect back by 11:55 and we will take this further. Break time. Relax and then come back. Hello everyone. Are you all back? Please can you respond? Um, Let me reset the poll and ask this question. Are you back from break? Yes or a no? Yep. Please can you respond? Wonderful. You'll anyways respond only if you're back. If you're not back, there won't be any no. So I think it's not a right question. This is strange. People are saying no, we are not back from break. 2%, 3%. Only if you're back, you can respond, right? Okay. So let us proceed further. The one thing which is extremely important for us to proceed further is understanding the business problem. So what I shall do is I'll go here and let me choose 360DigiTMG mind map. Okay, and as I've told you, this mind map or these mind maps will come in extremely handy. Okay, a lot of things are clearly explained in this. And rather than this, let me open artificial intelligence and deep learning stuff. This is AI and deep learning for y'all. Okay, I can share this mind map link with you. Please keep it handy and you can use that for future purpose. Okay, in the interim, there were a lot of questions which people were asking on, hey, where is this WhatsApp group link, etc. So you might want to send a message to this number 8500641349. Send a message to this number so that we may add you to WhatsApp group. Okay, I'll ask this question to everyone. Let's see. Okay. Are you all able to see my screen in the first place? I'll ask a question. Are you all able to see the screen? Yes or a no. I'm writing something on the screen. I've written a phone number and all I'm asking is please send a message to this number so that we may add you to the WhatsApp group. It's a strange thing. Now, are you able to see the screen? Now, are you able to see the screen? No? Now, are you able to see the screen? I'll just wait. I'll not. Oh, okay. Now I understood. Now I understood why you were saying that. Got it. Okay, so let me write the number here. Now you'll be able to see 8500641349. Okay, please send a message to this number so that we may add you to the WhatsApp group. Yep. Quickly take 1 minute because you're sending those messages in between the session. So I thought after you send, we will do it by evening. Yeah, sure. No problem, Rupali. We'll give you other ways. I'll also clarify your doubts because there are a lot of doubts which people are asking. I'll take some time to clarify your doubts. Sure, sure. Sheikh, see, I can prove you one thing straight away that I'll go here. I'll do the speed test. Hmm. Now you tell me whether it is valid or not valid. Okay, this is my internet speed, friends. Okay, Sheikh, I'm just telling you that internet speed at your end, if there is some issue, then you'll find obviously certain lag. Now, for obvious reasons, right? So that's my speed. It's almost 100 Mbps. Yeah, I'm getting 77 Mbps download speed, and upload speed is roughly 70 Mbps, which is a very, very good speed by any standards, right? And you just do a speed test at your side, you'll get to know on whether the issue is at your end or my end. Okay. Okay. So here we go. I've done this. So look at that. Okay. It's almost 80 Mbps. And the upload speed is almost 70 Mbps. Okay. Or even it's reaching 80 Mbps, even the upload speed. That's the speed, my dear friends. Everyone, this is the speed that I have. Okay. So I'll keep it open. Next time, if you send a message saying that screen is not clear and there is a lag, that means you also have to check speed test at your side. You'll get to know on whether really that's an issue at my end or at your end. And a few common questions which are being asked should be addressed immediately because it might become a white elephant otherwise. So what I shall do is I'll copy this number. And that's an amazing speed, right? So there is this number. Let me copy that. Okay. Please send a message to WhatsApp number in order to get added to the WhatsApp groups. What is the number? This is a number. Do you want me to zoom it? I will zoom it. A few of you are saying that no, we don't have access to WhatsApp, or we are in different locations. Can you help us out? Yes. What we will do is there is sticky note on top of chat box, chat window on webinar jam. Please use it. Again, you might have questions. No, I am unable to see that. Please send it. Where do we send it? How do I send it? Okay. So there are two ways again. Send email. Sure, we will send email. But please check your spam folder also. So we will send email. Wonderful. This is also done. What else do you want? A few people are asking for AI spry access. Yesterday, people who attended may not be asking because we already set the context that we will share after tomorrow's session, and this is to ensure we share access to only those who are attending the session. Okay, we want to share it with only those people who are attending the session. Who are not attending the session will not be given the LMS access, obviously. If you just join for one day and say, give me access, we might not be able to provide. And finally, give me the mind map link was a question. Mind map link is also posted on the chat window. If you're not able to see that, here is a mind map link. What else do you want? Okay, give us the YouTube link where these videos are getting uploaded. Okay, we shall post this on sticky note during the session, and after the session we shall send WhatsApp messages. Then you might ask this question on, hey, quiz, where are you posting? Answer is, we are posting on Facebook and LinkedIn. We cannot post it in other places. We can post it on Facebook and LinkedIn only. If you don't have access to these two, create your accounts. If you don't have social media accounts, then please create the accounts. Because we will be training the students and we need to actually set an example to the students. Hence, we need to have. Okay. Are there any other questions apart from these? Attendance. Attendance link, you all are requesting, please share a few of you all. Attendance link will be shared at the end of the session and not in between and not at the start. Once again, all these links, YouTube link, Facebook link, LinkedIn link, all these links will be shared. All links will be shared daily on WhatsApp groups. We are using almost all the communication channels to make your experience better. Now ask me if you have any questions. We will take out 5 minutes time to clarify your questions. Any doubts that you have, friends, please ask. This is the WhatsApp number. We are going to stick it on top of the chat window. Okay, Enoch, periodically keep making changes, keep putting mind map link for some time, keep putting YouTube link for some time. Please keep putting Facebook and LinkedIn links for some time. Keep doing that so that our participants get thorough access to all these links.
All right, Baru.
Sure. And also let us send an email once again to our participants. Participants, please look at your spam folder also. You should have received an email. If not, you will receive. And AI Spray Access, we will share it only over the weekend. We will look at all these 3 days. We will see whether people have attended for all the 3 days or at least for today and tomorrow. And then we will give only those people access. Okay. So any questions? Um, yeah, there'll be notifications on Facebook. Sticky notes means it is here. If you see, I'm hovering my mouse on your chat window. On the top you will see that sticky note. Sasanka, we will respond. uh, Enoch and team, Sasanka says that she has sent a message on WhatsApp but no one has yet responded or added her. So we will add you, Sasanka, right? It will take some time but we will add you. Sanya says, what kind of problems will be there on diabetes? Many problems, Sanya, such as predicting diabetes, looking at the retinopathy, that is your retina images, and then classifying whether you're a diabetic patient or not. How long will you have diabetes? All those can be predicted. That's called as survival analytics. Srikant, there are at least 100 plus books which I would have read, Srikant. Is there any single book? No. But if you read this session, if you attend these sessions, majority of those things will get covered, Srikant. Spider is something we are going to use. When it comes, we will tell you, Sai Dhanush. Right? First of all, we need to understand the theory, and then we get to the practicals. You will receive AI Spray access after tomorrow's session on Sunday. Okay? Yeah. We share WhatsApp group link in chat box. No audio. Okay. I did not get any emails from you, but I'm getting notifications from. Yeah, fine. Please send it to the registered email ID for FTP. Okay, generate regression model using ML. Will you get certificate? Also, can you explain use case? Oh my God. Okay. All right. So I think we should now proceed further. There are a few questions which I think should get addressed at a later point of time, not at this point of time. So I'll answer those. Okay. So let's proceed further. Please check your internet connection. Please ensure you have decent speed so that you attend the session. That is very important because nowadays everything is online. All right, back to our discussion here. We need to be extremely clear about the business problem even before we get started. So I'm going to write a business problem here and then I'll ask you all to give me an answer to that. Question is, say Andhra Bank walks up to you and says, or Andhra Bank loan officer comes to you because you all are now trained artificial intelligence experts, right? And then he or she says that, do you know what? Significant proportion of customers who are applying for the loan are defaulting on the loan, meaning they're not paying back the loan. Significant proportion of customers are defaulting. That means they're not repaying the loan. If significant proportion of customers are not repaying the loan, then your bank will get into losses. This is the business problem that we have. Once you have the business problem, quickly we need to record two things. One is business objectives. One is business objectives. Another is business constraints. Here, the business objective is, will a person default on the loan or not? Okay, so here, when significant proportion of customers are defaulting, the objective is minimize the defaulters, minimize the loan defaulters. If significant proportion of customers are defaulting, then your objective is to minimize the loan defaulters. Number one. So what do? You build a prediction model. Prediction model will be like this. You'll have a database which will have data of all the customers who have applied for the loan. Okay. The moment data is entered here, such as age of a person, gender, income, educational qualification, so on and so forth. Say you capture the data. You take that data and build a prediction model. You can use Python or you can use R, and then say you built a model which predicts on whether a person will default on the loan or not default on the loan. If your prediction says that there is 90% probability, there is 90% probability that a person will default on the loan, then what should you do? You have to reject the loan. Ideally, what do? You'll reject the loan because there's 90% chance that someone is going to default on the loan. Okay. So here, you would say that obviously I want to reject. If you start rejecting the loan, then what will happen to the bank profits? How do you think banks make profits? Bank is going to lend loan. And when they lend loan, you pay interest. So they get interest amount. Once they get interest amount, based on this interest amount, they make profits. If you're rejecting the loan, then you're not even lending the loan. If you do not even lend the loan, then profits will go down. Hence, your Andhra Bank loan officer will say that while you're trying to minimize the loan defaulters, I also want you to maximize the profits at the same time. Okay. While you're trying to minimize defaulters, at the same time, maximize the profits. This will be an interesting problem to solve. If you just say minimize defaulters, any person with common sense will be able to solve the problem. The moment business constraint is also levied on you, person with extraordinary sense can solve it. There is a difference between common sense and extraordinary sense. And artificial intelligence experts are going to possess extraordinary sense. Okay, not common sense. So that is what is extremely important. The moment a problem is given, you need to first understand the objectives and then constraints. Now, how will you maximize the profits? For this, what people do is they use something called as survival analytics. Survival analytics. And using survival analytics, you need not just predict on whether a person will default or not. You're also going to predict on after how many installments, after how many every month installments will you default. If your prediction model says that this person, there is 90% chance or 90% probability that the customer who has applied for the loan will default, but then this customer will default after 28 installments. If the customer is going to default after 28 installments, then you can approve the loan and reduce the loan tenure to just 24 months. Why? Because after 28 months, this customer might default. So you're going to reduce the loan tenure to 24 installments and increase the interest amount and reduce the loan amount that you're disbursing. This way, you're not just minimizing the defaulters, but you're also maximizing the profits. This is what is expected from you as part of step 1. Very, very, very important. Because if you do not define your problem properly, then you will not be successful, period. Okay, a lot of people that I come across, there are two sets of people. One set of people, one section of people, otherwise section A, these are the people who are interested only in programming. These people will never become successful data scientists or AI experts. Never will they become successful. Okay, because a typical AI expert will solve the business problem. They will not do programming. Programs are available on internet everywhere. Then why should I pay you more salary as AI expert? Number one point, very important. Even for a data scientist, you should not be programming centric. Very wrong, extremely wrong. If you are programming, you'll become a developer. You'll not become a data scientist or AI expert. Because I'm a chief data scientist on 4 different companies, this information is very, very accurate, very reliable that I'm giving you. Okay, you shouldn't be a programmer. And also when you find time, explore about something called as auto ML. Machine learning algorithms are getting automated. So if you are learning program, what will you do? Where will you use it? Section B, these are people who focus more on business aspects, business problems. And they think that I don't want any programming. Okay. And this section A person, all this person is interested in, hey, when should I run this algorithm? Their focus is only on, don't understand anything about algorithm, just take it and run it. Okay, so algorithmic focused. Here, this section B will say that, why do I need to know algorithms, right? Anyways, auto ML is coming. They're more focused on automation, using automated tools. Neither A nor B are correct. Okay, you need to strike a right balance. You need to understand the business problem, obviously. You need to know only that much programming which is needed to solve the business problem. Now, customer will not ask you on how many lines of code did you write? How did you program? Those will not be the questions. Question will be on, hey, I have a business problem. Did you solve it? Yes or no? That's it. You should neither be algorithmic focused nor should you be focused too much on automation. You need to strike a right balance. And this training is exactly going to do that. Okay. Don't be programming centric, you'll become a developer. Don't be completely business focused without thinking about programming, because you'll become a business person. Data scientist is a guy, or an AI expert is a person who strikes the right balance. Okay, now, once you understand the business problem, you proceed further to the next step. What is that next step? We will learn. So once you have the data, you understand the business problem. On what decision should I make? What should I do now? And then what happens is you try to draw insights from your data. This part is called as exploratory data analysis. And then you need to apply your domain knowledge. Someone was asking, what can you do using diabetes? Many things you can do. There is something called as diabetic retinopathy, wherein you take retina images, and using retina images, you predict on whether a person will be diabetic or not. Using images. So you need to know how to process images in some sense. Okay. This knowledge of how to use what portion of retina is important to predict whether a patient has diabetes or not is part of your domain knowledge. You take your domain knowledge and then proceed further and build a model. What model? Your prediction models. You build your prediction models. Once you build your prediction models, you'll use your models for predicting. Once you do predictions, you take decisions. And when you take decisions, you need to understand about what are the business objectives and what are the business constraints. Based on your decision, you give a feedback, and this loop will go on and on. Here, I'm going to give you a couple of examples, okay? One example is on credit card fraud. Okay, I'll speak about this. Say you built a prediction model, and using that you predicted on whether a credit card transaction is fraud or not. If your bank, in your bank, there'll be a fraud department or a fraud analyst. Your fraud analyst, say, calls the customer to check on whether customer has actually done the transaction or not. Okay. Or let me tell this that. Say there is a customer does a credit card transaction. Immediately a message goes to the fraud team, and fraud team will get information on whether that is fraud or not fraud. The specific transaction is fraud or not fraud. If your prediction says that, hey, there is 90% probability that this transaction is fraud, then what will your fraud analyst do? Fraud analyst will immediately call the customer. Customer, did you do the transaction? Only if the customer says yes, they will approve the transaction. If the customer says, hey, no, I didn't do any transaction, then the fraud team is going to decline the transaction. So what's happening? They're taking that feedback from you. They're taking the feedback on whether you have actually done the transaction or not. Sometimes it might so happen that your model says that there is 90% chance that your transaction is fraud. And when you call your customer says, no, I have only done the transaction. I did the transaction. So that means you go back and you update your model saying that, hey, my model has given me a false alarm, right? My model has given me a false alarm. So this information you take and again rebuild your model. This process of building your model is not a one time activity. It will continuously go on and on. Okay, let me explain about agriculture. I think someone was asking about agriculture. So this is a drone. You fly a drone. By the way, we have done a project for Malaysian government in a state called as Sarawak. This is the exact project that we have done. So here, when you fly a drone on top of the crop, this drone will capture images of the crop. You do then image processing. You then do image processing to identify insects or weeds. If this is your complete crop, and when you fly drone on top of this, your drone might say that, do you know what? In this portion of your crop, we have insects or weeds. If this information is shared with farmers, what do you think will happen? Farmer will go and sprinkle the pesticide on this. Rather than sprinkling the pesticide throughout the crop, they will sprinkle the pesticide only on this portion. When they sprinkle only on this portion, you're ensuring that you're not spoiling the healthy plants with pesticides, and you're also ensuring that you're not letting your weeds or insects spread to the other portions. And if you just like that keep sprinkling pesticides, there will be fertilizer residual. Fertilizer residual. This fertilizer residual, which goes into the land, will ensure that your crop yield reduces. So that is also another point that you have to look at. And also, this drone had something called as multispectral camera, which will capture not just the visible spectrum, but it will also capture the invisible spectrum. And also, these drones were tagged with contour sensors. What will the contour sensors do? They will look at it will find out up to an inch the difference in the land. If your land is like this, then you can understand on where there will be more moisture content. When you sprinkle water here, it will not stay here, it will go down like that. So there'll be a lot of water here, there'll be less water here. So you need to adjust all that, contour sensors. Using all these mechanisms, you capture the data. And what is the objective here? Objective will be to, at the end of the day, maximize the yield. And constraint would be, you cannot say, I'll help you maximize yield, pay 1 crore rupees for this. No one will pay 1 crore for this, right? So while you try to maximize the yield, you will also have to minimize the cost. Okay, maximize the yield, at the same time minimize the cost of implementation. Okay, next. Your data can be structured or unstructured. Unstructured data means you'll have videos, you'll have images, you'll have speech or audio files, and you'll have textual data. Social media analytics and your social media data comes in very handy in this. Okay, very important. Again, I'm repeating, friends, you need to have at any cost LinkedIn account and Facebook account. Minimum, these are the minimum things, because As part of the training, when you train the students, you should you will be training them on social media analytics. There is no escaping. You might feel that, hey, who will create account? No, if you don't, you will create eventually, because social media analytics is one such big stream that you should be aware of. Okay. And structured data means data which you can arrange in a nice tabular format. If you put the data in a nice tabular format in rows and columns, it is called as structured data. But when you look at your videos, images, audio, and text in the raw format, these are unstructured. But these unstructured data types can be converted into a structured format. How would you do that? Say you have a video. If you have a video in place, video is nothing but collection of multiple images, right? Video is collection of multiple frames of images. And I'm sure you would have done this during the school days, right? Flipbook. Let me see up this one. So you just flip it in that way and then, come on, Grammarly. Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's the flip book, right? What happens in a flip book? If you just keep flipping like that and it appears as if it's a movie. Okay. So similar to that, multiple images taken at a rapid pace will form a video, and video will have frames, and you call this as frames per second. If you have more frames per second, it would be your high definition, right? It will be your high definition video, HD quality video, right? So video analytics is nothing but image processing only, or image analytics. So in this video, you take one frame out, and in this frame, what happens is you'll again have pixels. You'll have pixels in that way. Okay, and each pixel value will be stored in a tabular format like this. Okay, so you take each pixel value, store it here. Take the next pixel value, store it here. Take the next pixel value, store it here. Take the next pixel value and store it here. Keep doing that. That means you are converting an image which is in unstructured format into a structured format. Right? You're converting an image which is unstructured into a tabular format which is structured. This can happen. Okay. But in the raw format, you cannot place these in this kind of structured format. Okay, that's one thing that you need to remember. Same is the case with audio. There is something called as MEL frequency cepstral coefficient. Forget about that for now. We'll discuss later. And when it comes to textual data, there are a lot of techniques such as embedding techniques. You learn about all these techniques: word embeddings, MFCC. We will spend significant time on images, analyzing images, and then we'll also analyze the videos. Next, this unstructured or structured data Can be big or it need not be big. Big means huge data coming your way. Okay. If you have big data, then you need to know Hadoop framework. Be it structured big data or unstructured big data, you need to resort to Hadoop framework to handle that. And when it says not big data, data which is not big, you're going to store that. If it is structured data which is not big, you store that in MySQL or RDMS. If you have unstructured data which is not big, you store it in some kind of NoSQL database, such as MongoDB, Cassandra. There are many things. Why do we need to know this? This is what industry needs. Industry wants people to understand on what kind of data we have, where do we store it, how do we store it, right? Without all that, you cannot proceed further. What is it that we are going to learn? We will get started with supervised learning, perceptron, multilayered perceptron, CNN, RNN, LSTM, GRUs, and we'll have for all these things, we will be doing theory and practicals. And practicals will be done on Spider or Jupyter. Remember these. And when it comes to images, image processing, or when we get into these algorithms, let me put it this way, that when we get into algorithms such as CNN, RNN, etc., you need a GPU machine. GPU stands for graphical processing units. Okay, and we are going to make use of Google Colab. For all these things, we will use Google Colab. And we also have unsupervised learning techniques. We will, at a high level, discuss about all these techniques, such as autoencoders, restricted Boltzmann machine. We will look at DBNs, GANs, all these techniques, right? Okay, so the next step is to understand about data collection. There are two modes of data collection. One is called as primary data collection and another is called as secondary data collection. Though the name says primary and secondary, the first data type or the first data source that you need to go and get the data from is secondary data source. Okay, you need to get the data from secondary data sources. Okay, here, when you want to get the data from secondary data sources, you just go and get the data from your database. Already data which is already collected and stored in a database is called as secondary data source. It could be your relational database management system. For example, if you take bank, right? Bank example. How many customers have applied for the loan until now? When did they pay their last installment? What is their installment amount? What is their principal amount, interest amount? All this data is already available. So if there is data collected beforehand, we call that as secondary data, like your customer relationship management database, financial risk management database, supply chain management database, so on and so forth. Or the data which is publicly available. There are a lot of open source databases which are available. You can just make use of that, which is free. When I say open source, it is free. It is already publicly available. For example, government census data, etc., is already available publicly. You can make use of that because that is data already collected. There are certain companies who store the data, who capture the data, and they sell the data. Those kind of data sources which you sell is called as syndicate data source. Syndicate data means they already store the data and they sell it to you. I'll explain about this example in a while, right? However, the advantage is that data is easily available, but the disadvantage is that you may or may not have the data needed for your analysis, needed for your further analysis. So what do you do then? You have to go and collect the data which is not available with you. How can you collect the data? You can collect the data through surveys, design of experiments, simulation, web scraping, social media extraction. Once again, you need to have social media account or through IoT sensors. These are the various forums using which you capture the data. This is also called as data collected at source. You're going and just getting the data which is not available. It's not already available, so you're making use of some technique to collect the data. The advantage is that you'll get the exact data which you need for your analysis. But the disadvantage is that it is going to be costly and time consuming affair. It'll be costly and time consuming. Why? If you want to conduct a survey, okay, then you'll have to send an email. If I send an email, will you fill the survey? No. Then what should I say? I should say that if you fill this survey, I will give you 100 rupees Amazon coupon or 500 rupees Amazon coupon. If I say this, then you will fill the survey. Right? So conducting a survey or performing, primary data collection mechanism or resorting to this would be costly affair. So hence, though the names in secondary, you first look at the secondary data source. If the data is not available here, then you resort to your primary data source technique. So here is a question for you all. Okay. So here is the poll question. I've seen your question and then I'm going to answer a few of your questions. So one second, sorry friends, one second. Hey, sorry about that. Which data collection source is first preferred? Okay, do you prefer primary data source or do you prefer secondary data source? Here is a poll question. Please, can you answer this? Oh, mixed responses. Primary data collection and secondary data collection. The first preference should be given to secondary. This you give first preference, though the name says secondary, right? Second preference should be given to primary data collection mechanism. All right. So once you collect the data, so you know understand the business problem, then you collect the data. But when it comes to data collection, first of all, you need to understand about the various data types. This we will discuss tomorrow. For now, we will do a little bit of Python programming because I understand that after some time of theory session, it'll be like, we are falling asleep, right? So I'm going to ensure that I motivate you all and keep you all awake. So we will switch to Python and then practice some amount of Python. So even before we proceed with Python practicing these things, um, I wish to tell you this that a few of you all have asked me this question how to use it. So we have Anaconda. You just need to type download Anaconda. Download Anaconda. Okay. And when you click on this link, you get to this wherein you have an option called download here. You just click on that. Okay. You just click on that. And when you click on that, you will go down here to the installers. Okay, you go down here to the installers. Here you need to install. If you're using Windows machine, you make use of Windows installer. If you're making use of MacBook, you make use of MacBook, or if you're using Linux, it's Linux. Right, so you can install one of these things, MacBook or Linux, etc. And yeah, there you go. That's it. Once you install, when you open your Anaconda, this is how the screen will be. And you can use any of the IDEs, integrated development environments, IDE, any of these. I'm going to use Spider for the initial days because it is very easy for people who are transitioning from R to Python. So you click on launch here. The moment you click on launch, you will see the screen. And yesterday we have already discussed on how to make use of this, right? It is as simple as you, sorry, one second, yeah. You type something here and you select the line and click on this. When you click on this, you get to see the result. Okay, you get to see the result the moment you click on that the output is 2. A few of you all were asking me on, hey, I'm not able to see this properly. Can you please help me? Okay, I can. So what we should do in that case is, I'll go to Anaconda. There is something called as Jupyter. If you click on launch, it is going to open a notebook, right, on the website, on your web browser. So it's taking a while. It says launching the notebook. If it's gonna take some more time, then I'm going to quit this and then I'll just close this as well. And let me close this also. Wonderful. And I'll open Anaconda once again. Here we go. We have Anaconda Navigator. Okay, so I'm going to open Jupyter here. Once you open Jupyter, you can upload the files, Python files that you have. And whenever you want to use Jupyter, always the Python files should have the format .ipynb, IPython notebook. That is the format in which you need the data for you to be able to use in Spider. In Jupyter. In Spider, you can have a file with an extension .py. .py means Python. Either you have it in this format or in this format, doesn't matter. You can use appropriate IDEs. Or you can convert this file to this file to this. It's pretty simple. Okay. Now, if you want to upload an existing file, existing Python file, you say upload, and then you can select the files, whatever is an appropriate file, and then you can proceed further with that. Okay, if you have IPython notebooks, or you can click on new, and do you see here Python 3? You just click on that. Once you click on that, you will see this kind of a window. Here I can zoom and show you the result as well. All you need to do is type the functions here. If it is 1 plus 1, type in this way, and when you click on run, you get the answer. If it is 8 multiplied by 3, you just run it, you get the answer as 24. In this way, you can make use of either Jupyter, or you can make use of Spider. Where Spider, I've closed it. Let me launch Spider. Just allow me a minute while I load this. Okay, our team is responding to you all on private message. Okay, so I just stopped the sharing because I need to pull a file from my email ID to show you guys and walk you guys through this. Yep. So I have the basic of the Python code ready with me just to ensure that I give you some basic understanding. I'm opening this. Now let me share my screen with you all. Okay, there we go. So I click on this, I load the file. Okay, so we are going to learn this also, but before we proceed, once again, we have certain libraries, and you should be aware of that. NumPy is used for numerical calculations, SciPy is used for scientific calculations, Pandas is used for data manipulation, scikit-learn or sklearn is used for machine learning, and stats models is used for statistical analysis, matplotlib for data visualization, and seaborn is used for advanced data visualization. When it comes to your deep learning, you use TensorFlow or Keras or PyTorch, and for computer vision you use OpenCV. Whenever you import a library into Python, you always use a shortcut, because next time, say for example, I want to say data frame. Okay, I cannot type the complete, I should not be typing the complete line as pandas dot data frame or pandas dot series. You cannot do that. Doesn't make sense, right? So you do this. So you import pandas as PD, okay, and then you import numpy as np. If there is any error, you will see it here. Since there is no error, it's fine. Next, when you say 1:5, it works in your other programming languages, but here in Python, it doesn't work. If you run this, it will throw you an error. Then, if I want to have numbers from 1 to 5, and if I want to store it in an object, how do I do that? For that, you need to do this, wherein you take your square bracket and you create list of numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You take the list of numbers, and using the assignment operator, you assign these numbers to an object called x1. Okay, you assign it to an object called x1. Then you have x2 as well. You take bunch of numbers, 10, 11, 12, 13. This is list of numbers, and you assign it to an object called x2. So you run x1 and you run x2. You have the numbers. And now what you're saying is, I want to create a frame. It's like a photo frame. You have a frame for your photos, right? On similar lines, for data, also you'll have a frame, and that is called as data frame. For data also you'll have a frame called as data frame. So you're saying pandas.data frame, pd.data frame, and you're saying you want these columns. You want the column names to be x1 and x2. So you're creating a data frame with columns x1 and x2, and you're assigning it to an object called x. So let me run it. Look at that. You just created two columns, x1 and x2. Okay. Or you can also just say x. Show me what's there in that. It says that it's an empty data frame with two columns x1 and x2. If you want to fill this with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if you want to fill x2 with 10, 11, 12, 13, then how do you fill it? Is a question. So pandas.series. Okay, you're getting series of all these numbers and then storing it in x1. Okay, x of x1, right? Okay, let me show you this. Whenever you have a data frame, x, that's the name. If you want to refer to this column, one way of referring to the column is say dot x1. If you want to refer to x2, you say x dot x2. This is how you refer to this column. Another way of referring to these columns is you say x of, within double quotes put x1, or say x of, within double quotes put x2. Okay, so what we are doing here is we are saying you want to take all these numbers, but when you want to take all these numbers, you need to convert this list to a series. See, comment lines are also given to you. So you're converting this to a pandas series, and you're taking this x1 and you're assigning it to, you're going to x, you're referring to x1, and you're assigning all these numbers to this. Then what you're doing is you're saying pandas.series of 2. So you're converting the list, all these, into a pandas series, and you're assigning those to your x2, x of x2. Go here, you have those numbers. Since they are not equal sized, okay, since they are not equal sized, meaning this has 5 and this has 4. So another thing here, the missing cell is called as NaN. Anyone who knows what this NaN means? I know it is lunchtime. Don't say that it is naan which we eat. Okay, it is not a number. Okay, it is called as not a number. Then, as I've told you, if you want to refer to any of the column, x of x1, if I just call that, look at that, it's giving you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I say x of x2, if I run that, it will give you all the other numbers. If you say x dot x1, that will also do the same thing. It will give you all those numbers. So to refer to a column, either you say x of x1 or you say x dot x1, it is going to work exactly the same way, right? That's how you refer to the columns. Can I refer to multiple columns? Yes, why not? If you want to refer to multiple columns, you use those two columns in double quotes and you have double squared brackets. Okay, so all you're saying is from x, I want to refer to x1 and x2. Wonderful, you can do that. So let me run this. You have these two columns. Even if you say just show me x, it will show you on whatever is in this. You can select this background color, you can uncheck that. Okay, next. There is also something called as x dot index location, right? This is also very, very interesting. I lock means it is index location. Okay, it is index location. You want all these rows from 0, 1, right, 2, and you want this column 1. So let me run this and show you on what happens. So what did it do? If you observe carefully, whenever you have a square brackets, it's always rows comma columns. So you're saying you want to refer to column 1 and you want to refer to these 0 colon 3 rows columns. When you say 0 colon 3, it will not give you 0, 1, 2, 3. It will not give until 3. It will only give 0, 1, 2, 3. It won't give. Whatever is given here, it will exclude that. This is one important difference, key difference in the other statistical tools versus Python. And another very important thing is indexing in Python starts from 0. Indexing starts from 0, meaning if you click on that, if you uncheck this, if you look at these indexes, it starts from 0. So you have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And here also indexing starts from 0, 0, 1, 2, in that way. Indexing starts from 0. In the other programming languages, it will say this is column 1 and column 2. But in Python, this will be referred as column 0 and this will be referred as column 1. Now, I have a question for you all. If I change this, or let me copy this, and let me ask a question here, a poll question. There we go. So the poll question is, if I say index location of 1 colon 4, how many rows are selected? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or is it 0, 1, 2, 3? Okay, please answer this. I have asked a question. Please, can you answer that? Wonderful. Greater than 90% or approximately 90% of you all are answering this question. Great. That's a good response. Right. You all are right in saying that when it is 0 colon 3, it takes 0, 1 and 2. Okay. If I say 0 colon 4, so if it's 0 colon 3, what all will it consider? Consider 0, 1 and 2. If it is 0 colon 4, it will consider 0, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3. So that's what it is. And if you want the entire data frame, if you want all the rows and all the columns, you just say index location of blank space, all the rows and blank space. That means all the columns. You'll get the entire data frame. And if you want to know what is the type, what is this column? Is it a pandas object or what is this? Then you just say type of x comma x1. It will give you the answer that it's a pandas series. That's not that important anyways. Okay, forget about that. Now, all we are saying is go to pandas. So do you know what? Why am I using PD here? Because I've imported as a shortcut, abbreviated format as PD. If I don't use as PD, I should have typed it as pandas.dataframe. And you have all these three column names, A, B, and C. You say X of A. So you're saying go to this X and refer to this A. And all you're saying is, this is very important. Just pay attention. After this, we will stop. You're saying you want from this NumPy means numerical calculations. You imported that library as NP here. That's why you're using NP. Otherwise, you should have used NumPy. Okay, so what you're doing here is you're saying NumPy dot random. So you want to randomly generate. What do you want to randomly generate? You want to randomly generate 50 numbers, or you want to start here and end here, and you want to randomly generate these many numbers. So if I just run this, I can show you here on what happens. Look at that. Randomly 50 numbers are generated in the range of 1 to 100. So from 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way until 100. How many numbers are randomly chosen? 50 numbers. So this is the start. This is the end. And you want how many numbers? 50 numbers. So from start and end, you want to generate 50 different numbers. And what are you doing here? You now want to fill this second column. You want to fill that second column with numpy dot randomly you want from 1 to 5 55 entries, choice 55 entries of 1 or 0, right? 1 or 0. If I run it, we'll see here. See, 0 or 1. We have randomly generated. Randomly select either 0 or 1. How many such numbers? 55 numbers. You can do that. And you're saying in this column C, I want to add 10. Go here, look at that. It has replaced everything with 10. So you can either randomly generate 50 numbers from 1 to 100, or you can randomly choose 0 or 155 such numbers, or you assign 10. So you have those three columns. Okay. Now we have some more time. We'll just quickly do this and then we'll proceed further. So what you can do is to load a file, either use .read underscore CSV or use a drop down here. You see a drop down there, here at the top. You just select that. Okay. And then choose whatever data set you want to load. Say you want to load this education. Wonderful. You can call this as education dataset, and you select a data frame here always and click on, is this mouse cursor not moving? You click on done. Okay, so you're loading that into kind of education. Once this is done, if you say what is the type of this dataset, if you just click on run, it will say that this is a pandas data frame. Okay, if you want to look at the columns of this data set, what you do is you say education dot columns. You have your education. If you say education dot columns, it will refer to 1, 2, and 3 columns, and it's going to display the columns for you: serial number, work experience, and GMAT. If you want to only refer to serial number, you say education dot serial number, and you get to see the entire column of serial number. If you want to refer to, say, a column called work experience, what do? You just say education of work experience. Okay. Now my question is, how do you refer to the columns? Let me put this question here, a poll question. How do you refer to the columns in Python? Using this, oh, sorry, my bad. Let me copy this. Is this the way to refer, or is this the way to refer, or both? Please, can you answer this? Everyone, I request everyone to please respond. Which way of, which formula or function is right in terms of referring to a specific column? Both is the correct answer, friends. Either you type your column name in double quotes and put that in square bracket, or you just say education dot work experience. It is going to give you the same result. Either run it in this way or this way. It will give you the same result. If you want to refer to multiple columns, then certainly you have to use this way of referring, wherein you say from education, refer to data serial number and work experience. You can also do index location. iloc means index location. Here, rows and columns. Here you have rows and here you have columns. You want the rows from 45 to 51, and you want the columns from 1 to 3. But when I run this, let me see. And let me show you on what happens. So look at this, friends. 45 to 51. So you have 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. This last digit, it's not taken. Then if you have 1 to 3, columns from 1 to 3, it chooses column 1 and column 2, but this 3 is ignored. That last, whatever you have at the last, it's ignored. And if you look at this underlying data set, education, indexing in Python starts from 0, 0, 1, and 2. So if you say 1 colon 3, it will choose 1 and 2. Whatever comes here, it is ignored. Whatever comes here, it is ignored. So it will choose only 1 and 2. So it will refer work experience and GMAT. That is what is referred to here. This knowledge of programming, slowly and steadily we will be learning this so that it is helpful for you guys when you get started with the actual you know implementation part. So a quick recap of what we have discussed today would be, I'll type it here in the Word document. So today we discussed about project management methodology, which is part of machine learning primer. In this, we could discuss about project management methodology. Within this, we discussed about the first step, which is understanding the business problem. Once you understand the business problem, you need to record the business objectives and business constraints. Once you understand the business objectives and constraints, then we proceed further with the next step, which is called as data collection, in which you have primary data collection mechanism and we have secondary data collection. You first go after this data collection source, and only if you do not have the data needed for your analysis, you proceed with primary collection. Tomorrow, I think we will be completing the machine learning primer completely, and we will once again get back to Python, and we will slowly in steps, LKG, UKG, first standard, in that way we'll be learning the programming aspects also. So just to tell you, the second thing is Python basics. We got introduced to loading the data set, referring to various columns and rows in the data frame. Okay, so this is what we have discussed. Tomorrow, we will complete the machine learning primer, and also we will look into some Python basics. Now, quickly, I would like to share, a lot of people offline have been asking me to share my profile so that you connect with me. So I will quickly share this profile with you all on the chat window. Please connect with me if you are interested. iCharm is also something that we can use. Absolutely, you can use. Everything will be shared on learning management system. I mean, slides, data sets, programs, etc. But it will be shared on Sunday. Okay. Do connect with me, and you have an attendance form. Please fill the attendance. That's another thing. And the videos would be there on our YouTube channel. So all you need to do is go to our website 360digitmg.com and scroll down completely. You'll find YouTube link here. You'll find YouTube link here. Click on that YouTube link and you'll get redirected. Okay, to this, please click on this YouTube link and click on subscribe. Here, do you see subscribe? I request you all to please subscribe to the YouTube channel. The moment you subscribe, be rest assured that all the videos you'll be having access to. Any new sessions which happen, you will be notified because we also do YouTube live. Quiz notification link. We'll be posting that on the group, Chiranjeevi, on the WhatsApp group and Facebook also. We will ensure we put that in as many places as possible. We'll get there tomorrow. Shamba Shiva Rao. Tomorrow we will discuss about time series also. All right. So those are a few things that I request you all to do. Okay. YouTube link is given. Please click on that. Yeah, it will be shared with you, Ramachandran, on Sunday. If you are going to attend tomorrow's session also, then we'll be sharing it with you. So the first 3 days is like a litmus test on who are the various people who are interested. Whoever is interested, we will proceed further. You want my LinkedIn profile, is it? Okay, it's here. But then please have your LinkedIn accounts and Facebook accounts active. We will ensure that we become successful. We will discuss later, Sandhya. I think you're not getting that. Tomorrow I'll explain in detail. Diabetic retinopathy. I'll put that in a private message otherwise. You can just explore diabetic retinopathy. That helps. Yes, PyCharm is enough, Chiranjeevi, for practice. Attendance is there on the sticky note. Please give your attendance and then, yeah, it's there. It's given here. So let me post it here also. We will post on WhatsApp group also. So you can give your attendance. Randomization, we'll discuss, Ananda. I'll make a note of this. When we learn about a first algorithm, we'll explain about randomization. Tomorrow itself, we'll be able to discuss that. Yes, but we will look at your name, Bharati, and then we will consider that. Thank you all so much and have a great day. Tomorrow will be another day of learning. Thank you. Yeah, we can work on Jupyter also, Sampath. Last day of the course will be after 30 hours, daily 3 hours. And if you remove Saturday and Sunday, it will be the end of 4th week of July. By the end of 4th week of July, we'll complete that. That means the session last day will be roughly on 28th of this month. Amazing learning, okay? Friends, don't worry. Yeah, Chiranjeevi, I'm sharing it. Oh, this is your attendance. This is my LinkedIn. And thank you all. Yep. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. You can, Jayanti, you can download it from the various forums which are there. Only 1 day data can be, but it will not give you any meaningful information, Jayanti. You need to have minimum 1 year data. That's a minimum. Okay. With 1 day data, you cannot do any analysis, Jayanti. Okay. Because you need to capture seasonality and various things. Yeah, we will. Koteshwara Rao. Will also post everything in WhatsApp group so that it's easy for you also. Yep, sure. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure and honor to be training you all who will in turn train the students. Thank you all, friends. Bye.